Ladies, thank you so much for coming to speak to me today. Giggling already. They warned me about this. They warned me.
Thank you for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. How has the conference been so far?
It's been lovely. It's been very insightful. Keynote was excellent. I think I really enjoyed listening to Dan.
It was my first time listening to Dan.
Likewise.
Actually, we've obviously seen him posting about keynotes, but it was our first live experience, so I totally enjoyed it as well. Yeah.
And Matt, I think, was again brilliant. The key, I think I mentioned this to someone, that what I really like about all the conversations that we're having is the focus that everyone, whatever we are doing, everyone is working towards how is this going to benefit the student. So the goal of anyone whom you meet, be it a speaker or an attendee, is how is what we're going to do benefit the student in the classroom. And I think that's impactful.
And that's what I want to talk about. This is so in terms of what we're doing to impact and how that positive impact on the student's classroom, which is something you're going to tell us about because of, let's use the word, who you work for, the thing you're here to promote. I don't want to mispronunciate it. I'm going to say synaptic.
Perfect. Yes.
However, there's a clever play on words there, isn't there?
Yes.
The
Yes,
SAI.
there is. It's SAINAPTIC.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I look at that from a biologist and go, okay.
It's just high five.
So every time the biologists come on, it's like best subject. Saying hands down, best subject.
Yes, I agree. But
it
it's
has a very clever play on words as well in terms of, we want to fire those synapses in terms of that. So give us your USP, give us your sales pitch, elevator sales pitch about the platform.
So we've developed an AI model that helps teachers and educators, assessors do their marking, feedback, and analytics of assessments beyond multiple choice questions. So our USP is really with the marking of extended responses, short answers, essays, reports, and so on.
Amazing.
Instant feedback, instant marking and feedback on anything beyond MCQs.
Fantastic.
Reducing
I'm just taking it on instant.
Yeah, reducing teacher time and increasing student outcomes.
Okay, so at the start, I'm going to give you some scenarios. I'm going to give you some heretic questions, inspired by Mr. Dan Fitzpatrick and his book from there. And everyone's had some of them. Because, again, we want to come to these conferences and we want to challenge our thinking and also provide opportunities for the people watching. Emphasis there on the video podcast for you, by the way.
Yes.
And listening to this. So let's start with the first one. We're going to go with AI versus teacher intuition. So AI-powered marking is great. But can it ever replace, let's say, the gut feeling, the intuition of a teacher when assessing these open-ended student responses?
I mean, short answer is no, and it shouldn't. I think as edtech developers, one of the biggest things that we've kept at the core of what we're doing is to make sure that we are not removing the teacher from core aspects of their jobs. So definitely, AI cannot replace that intuition. I don't think it will. Hopefully what it will do is empower the teacher's intuition with very, very data-driven insights so that they are sure that it's not just intuition, it's actual data as well. So it has to be a supportive tool, hands down.
Thank you. So let's look at this scenario then. I'm going to give you the lazy teacher paradox. School automates all its grading through AI.
Okay.
Some teachers stop engaging with student work entirely. What's the safeguard to ensure AI remains a supporting tool and not a crutch?
I'm going to let the teacher take that one.
See, this is very similar to questions around how can we stop students from cheating?
Oh, yeah.
Which we have had conversations about this a lot. We had a conversation about this in our workshop as well. I'm sure we all remember cheating ourselves. Like as a student, I did as well.
How dare you? How dare no?
And the thing is, if somebody has decided to cheat, they're going to cheat. They're going to find loopholes to cheat. We can put barriers in place to make that more harder. We can put guardrails in place so that it's not impacting the students in this case, right? So if you're looking at a teacher and a teacher has decided they're not going to engage with students' work, that teacher is not engaging with their lesson planning, the resources, inspiring the students. So it's not just the marking and grading. That teacher is kind of has unticked quite a lot of
the
those
boxes
standards
and
over
their
there. So we
duties
have a
of-
bigger
yeah.
issue there to address, which will need to be addressed in the way the system.
And that's, I think, the key thing is going in terms of talking about the system and just obviously curious and interesting really how yours works a little bit more. But the question here, it kind of goes into that a bit. If AI learns from mistakes better than humans, how does Synaptic ensure that its own grading mistakes lead to better AI performance over time?
So we have a
Yeah.
very good feedback system in place, both for students and for teachers. Students can let us know in-app when they believe they have come across a feedback which is inaccurate. Sometimes the student is correct. Sometimes, as we all know, students are wrong, and that's fine. But they have at least given us that feedback. Teachers can override the AI mark completely. They are in control. We then use all of these interactions, use our in-house subject matter experts, look at these interactions. They take a call if that is in fact a new variation that the AI has not been exposed to, and hence we need to use that to retrain the AI to improve its accuracy. And that's how we have improved our accuracy from when we launched at around 63% to around 93% today across questions, which is on par, if not better, than human markers.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, we can agree in terms of teaching,
Yeah,
can't we?
yeah,
That
yeah,
marking is, we know it's important, but at the same time, it's a measure of feedback. It's a type of feedback, and
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
I know I much prefer giving verbal feedback.
Yeah.
But I know marking is important, especially when we do the science papers and we go through those things.
Yeah.
And so, if there is a tool that isn't going to do it all for me, but breaks the back of it. And I think that's kind of one of the suggestions you made. It's like it isn't and shouldn't replace teachers. We still need you there.
Absolutely.
But this is there. And the general consensus I get a lot of the things today is as a tool,
Yeah.
not as a replacement.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I mean, it's great for companies like us that actually teachers believe enough in AI and the fact that they believe that the AI could actually be better than themselves in doing some of the tasks. Like that's amazing. But I think that positive enthusiasm shouldn't get sort of overwhelming. And as edtech providers, we've got to take we've got to take that proactive approach to make sure that we are educating our clients and teachers and educators
Definitely.
about the pros and cons. But it's really nice to see
Yeah.
that optimism.
So I'll give an example there. We were having a conversation with the TeachMate AI colleagues over there, and who were also ex-teachers. And we were talking about how, even when it's multiple choice questions or single word answers, when a human teacher is marking it, for the 50th answer, we would have marked 50 responses. But for the 50th one, we might mark it incorrectly. But if you have trained an AI for single word, single phrases, MCQ, it's going to mark it the exact same way for the 100,000th time.
Yeah.
So why would you not use an AI for that? You would use an AI for that. But when it comes to descriptive, you would, but you would not then completely rely on the AI mark and feedback. And I think that's where the human intelligence comes in place, because we need to know where and when to use it and how much to use it as well.
Amazing. Final question for you. We'll see if this is the thinking question or not.
Okay.
If AI marking had a mood setting, what do you think the feedback would sound like on passive aggressive?
Wow,
Sure, I'm very
I
good
think.
with this.
Well, firstly, I don't think there should be a mood setting.
I think humans are better with
Maybe-
that.
Well, I mean, that's debatable as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think a lot of teachers can be
Well, mine
quite
would-
passive aggressive.
Most of
Yeah.
mine would be probably sarcastic.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my honest answer is we probably are not there yet to have such mood settings in place. I would think the trajectory that LLM-based systems are taking, and if a marking system was to be sort of built directly on top of leveraging an LLM, it would be pretty good at giving very mood-related or injecting that mood or the sentiment within their marks. It might actually be quite consistent, and it wouldn't let. So the mood that would be associated with the feedback by the AI would be based on the sentiment that it has inferred from a student answer, not necessarily its own mood, because it doesn't have a mood.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because
So-
I'm thinking about it in terms of like, I'm just thinking, Jimmy, I've taught you
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
I've taught you this, and
Yeah,
I've told you
yeah,
this
yeah.
10 times. And yet, this is what you give me as an answer. If you could do that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that it won't,
See, but
but
that's
I
what
think
we,
it'll do it
exactly.
well.
That's what we don't want AI to do.
Yeah, I know. Well, Liz, thank you so much for taking the time to
Thank
speak
you.
today.
It was
If people
so
want
fun.
to obviously find out more about the platform and it's where is the best place to find you?
Head to synaptic.com. So it's SAINAPTIC.com. /teachers if you're from the school sector, but we also actually work with beyond the school, so vocational, professional qualifications, apprenticeships. So there's a lot happening, outside of the K-12 as well. So lots of information there. You can get in touch with the two of us, Kavita and Raj. Kavita at synaptic.com, Rajeshwari at synaptic.com. I think this is just the beginning, isn't it? There's lots to be done and lots to be done properly. Look forward to engaging with the community.
Amazing. Well, thank you again and
Thank
enjoy the rest of the
you.
conference and enjoy Bucharest.